Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. Since 1926, Farm Bureau has been working to preserve Virginia farms and our rural heritage. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the wonderful local products that we enjoy. Brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. The State Fair of Virginia is much more than cotton candy and amusement rides. It's pumpkin season, and we have a fun recipe for the fall. And more women are choosing to be leaders in their local farm community.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Welcome back to Real Virginia, everybody. We're coming to you from a beautiful farm here in Powhatan County. The State Fair of Virginia has left town for another year, but Burke Moeller reports that dozens of students have not only fond memories of the fair, but scholarship money to use towards future studies.
The State Fair of Virginia has a well-earned reputation as a place where you can get up close and personal with the animals, including this horse. It's just a skipping miracle. And if that horse is too big for you, one of these would be a great way to spend time at the fair.
But the State Fair is not just animals and carnival rides. It's also the place where students from across Virginia come to compete to show off their skills every year. FFA chapters, formerly known as Future Farmers of America, 4-H clubs, and Skills USA chapters all have competitions for young people to hone their craft and get recognized for their work. For example, in the 4-H program, kids compete on horseback to show judges their riding, directing, and lassoing abilities. This participant is demonstrating that his horse can work with a cow as well as direct the cow to respond to specific directions. Young people who have participated in the program say the benefits show up in and out of the ring.
I started out as a really shy kid without knowing anything really. I thought I knew stuff about horses in 5th grade, and through 4-H, I have learned how to take care of a horse, how to raise a horse, from a baby, how to do things on my own without the help of a parent with me at every second, and I've learned a lot of life skills as well.
Morgan Strickler is also a recent high school graduate. She says the lessons learned from the 4-H and FFA helped her decide to go to college and study for a career teaching agriculture.
It teaches you to speak out and inspire people, and I think that me going through high school and middle school, it's helped me gain the confidence to be able to explain to people my concerns or to be able to voice my opinion.
Other 4-H competitions at the State Fair judged groups of student riders on their ability to move their horses in union in a sort of equine dance. Over in the Blue Ribbon tent, about 2,000 FFA students from across the state competed for scholarship prizes for correctly identifying crops such as soybeans and corn, as well as soil samples and various trees. Kenzie Klein says one of her FFA instructors inspired her to pursue a career in agriculture.
I was going into middle school and I knew nothing about agriculture or the FFA, but my agriculture teacher at the time, I knew her, so she convinced me to join FFA and to join agriculture classes, and that's how it all started.
Elsewhere on the fairgrounds, Skills USA competitions were underway.
We have a lot of students who actually take these classes. They have certifications in whatever skill area that they take. You should always have options. Never limit yourself.
Carpentry, welding, cosmetology, masonry, and auto mechanics are just some of the fields these young men and women compete in each year. Some of those skills can be directly applied to a career in agriculture, some not. But every student is gaining valuable experience working together and taking pride in their work.
Even if they're not pursuing careers in cosmetology, they're also just making sure that cosmetology could be a plan B, but just making sure that they know exactly what they want to do at the beginning so I can cater to their specific needs.
Michael Wirt is a senior at Powhatan High School.
I've always enjoyed cosmetology. I don't plan into going into it as a career, but I do plan on using my certification that I'll get at the end of the year throughout college for a stable job.
Students from all over the Commonwealth came for the competition and left with a new understanding of the skills they'll use to build their own future. State Fair officials say they expect to award over $60,000 in earned scholarships this year. From 2013 to 2018, the State Fair of Virginia has awarded more than 1,270 scholarships and distributed more than $472,000 to youth education. In Caroline County, Virginia, I'm Burke Moeller reporting.
4-H and the FFA have deep roots in Virginia agriculture. The ancestors of the modern 4-H movement organized back in 1902 with the purpose of instructing rural youth in improved farming and farm homemaking practices. Today, those goals have expanded to give hands-on experience in a wide variety of career opportunities. All 4-H programs are coordinated by local cooperative extension offices. Virginia Tech is where the Future Farmers of Virginia was organized in 1925. The state organization and other similar groups eventually evolved into the modern National FFA organization.
Many garden seeds need cold temperatures to sprout. Mark Viette says you can do that and get a head start on next spring's plantings. Next, in the garden.
Farm Bureau is the insurance provider of choice for farmers. But did you know all Virginians can benefit? In fact, most of our members are not farmers. Members may take advantage of discounts on selected autos, trucks, mowers, and tractors on top of the many insurance offerings. Your $40 membership will easily pay for itself with our many savings options as well. Farm Bureau is made for Virginians. To learn more about the membership advantage, go to vafb.com or visit your local Farm Bureau.
Some garden seeds need to go through a cold, dormant season before they'll sprout. Mark Viette shows us how in the garden.
Instead of using your refrigerator to break the dormancy of seeds, you can go out and let nature do it itself. Find a really nice area in your garden, maybe a 4-foot by 4-foot area. This is how my grandfather propagated lots of plants. And just go through and rake the surface off. I'm going down about 1 inch to maybe 2 inches. And this is good soil, as you can see. And it's about 4 feet by 4 feet. Then I'm going to cheat a little bit. I am going to put a material which will help the seed grow even better and faster. And I'm going to take some of this Espoma organic soil and just come in and cover it with about maybe 1.5 inches. But this has everything that we use in pots to grow plants and seeds, but it holds a lot of moisture for the seed. And once you're done, going to gently rake it out. And you might have to come in it's a little clumpy, but it's nice and moist. And I'm just going to leave a little bit at this one end. Then take your seed. First, I'm going to seed some Baptisia in the front. So I'm just going to come like this and just seed it out. Not too many. That's about 500 seed. That's about 600. Then I'm going to take some Rudbeckia next. Just lightly. That's probably way too heavy, but not all of it will germinate. The last one I'm going to do is going to be some of the native milkweed that I've collected from the garden. And you want to collect these right when they're getting ready to open. And on this one, I don't really want it to blow away, so I've got to get a little lower to the ground. But you can see that's how they spread on their own. So I'm just going to come in and just seed this. And hopefully they all won't blow away. So I've seeded everything. It's set to go. I'm just going to cover a light coating. And after a while, you get good practice at this. Just a light coating. And that's it. Next spring, these are going to start germinating on their own. And you can just dig them or lift them out of the garden and transplant them to other places. You can even use a hand trowel. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.
Fall is for everything pumpkin these days. Chef John Maxwell has a recipe for pumpkin pudding that's quick and easy. Next, in the heart of the home.
And now, a sneak peek into a day in the life of a Virginia dairy cow. They get their day started. They have some lunch. Get some exercise. Spend time with their friends. And then end their day with dairy sweet dreams. Real dairy, real life, real delicious.
Pumpkin pie is a classic dessert this time of year, but Chef John Maxwell tells us there are other ways to enjoy pumpkin as a sweet end to your meal, in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm John Maxwell. Welcome to Heart of the Home. We're here in Doswell, Virginia at Meadow Hall, where every week we get a chance to play with some great Virginia food. Today, we're taking advantage of the season and we're making something with pumpkins that you might not have had before. We're making a pumpkin pudding. This is a great dish. It's served cold, but we need to cook it to make it happen. The first thing I'm going to do is take this pan, put it over here on a burner, and get it a little warm. All right, because I'm going to toast off the sugar. Now, I'm really not going to brown it. I just want to get it warm enough so it goes into solution with the hot milk quickly. While that's warming up, I've got an egg here in this bowl. I'm going to whisk that. I want to get the egg really whisked up. And I'm going to add some milk. We're making a custard pudding, so this is eggs and milk are the basis for the custard. All right, so I'm going to add all of this to it. All right. And I'm going to add some salt. And I'm going to add some cinnamon. And I'm going to add some nutmeg. And I'm going to stir that around. All right. Now, this is getting warm. And I'm going to add the sugar and the cornstarch. I'm going to warm up the cornstarch and sugar just a little bit. And this will help it go in a solution without making lumps. All right, I'm going in here. This is warm. I don't want it to start smoking too much. It can get a little wisps of smoke, but we don't want it to brown off. I don't want it to, I'm just trying to heat this up so that we can get the sugar to accept the liquid quickly. All right, so I've got the liquid. This is the milk, eggs, sugar and cinnamon, or cinnamon and nutmeg. And that's going to go in there. And I'm going to stir this continuously for a couple of minutes. We don't want to heat it too quickly because it'll curdle, cause lumps. We don't have to stir it constantly, but you have to stir it often. Okay, it's starting to thicken up. It's been a couple of minutes. All right. I'm going to pull it off the heat now. I'm going to put it back on, but I'm going to lower this heat. All right, so it's very low, down to low. Give it a chance to cool off a little bit. And I'm going to add the pumpkin. And get this all mixed in there good. There we are. Now the pumpkin that I'm using, is fresh pumpkin that I cooked and pureed, but you can use canned pumpkin on this if you want. But always make sure you check and see whether it's made in Virginia. All right, this is pumpkin pudding. And make sure the bowls you use have got some resistance to heat. They don't have to be heat resistant, but that they're just not too fragile, because this is hot, it's going in, right? And I don't want it to crack the glass. It's not going to crack the glass most of the time. I'm going to put these in the refrigerator, let them chill down nice before I serve them. All right, these have had a chance to chill down, and I'm going to go ahead and put some whipped cream on the top of them. Just want a little dollop on top of each. So I'm just going to scrape them off here. Just for a little cream, just to give it a little texture and a little contrast on the top. So there we go. It's a pumpkin pudding, all ready to eat. Delightful. Join us next week on Heart of the Home, where we get a chance to play with some great Virginia food.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com, as well as on Chef Maxwell's website at chefjohnmaxwell.com. Pumpkins are not just a pretty orange fall decoration for Virginia farmers. They're also a valuable source of income, especially for smaller growers with pick-your-own operations. In 2018, pumpkin growers sold about $11 million worth of the popular gourd in the Old Dominion, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. That pushes pumpkins into the top 20 most valuable farm commodities in the state. Most large-scale pumpkin growers sell to wholesale customers, while smaller growers rely on farm markets and consumers coming to them. More pumpkins are grown in Southwest Virginia than anywhere else, but you can find a local pumpkin patch anywhere at virginiagrown.com.
More women own and run farms in Virginia than ever before. Dave Miller reports on another vital change in our farm economy, the county agriculture agent.
Over the past 5 years, there's been a 45% increase in the number of Virginia women who are the principal operators of a farm. Nationwide, that trend is up 70%. Census figures estimate that today 1/4 of all Virginia farms are run by women. That cultural shift is being reflected in many ways in the farm community. For instance, 2/3 of all Virginia agriculture and natural resource extension agents are now women. Just a few decades ago, that role was almost exclusively male. Cynthia Gregg has been working with Extension for close to 30 years and has seen a lot of women entering the field.
Women enjoy working with others. They also enjoy being outdoors as part of an extension agent, but they also enjoy getting what I'll call their hands dirty as well. They enjoy working with livestock, working with crops, driving the tractors, working on the equipment. I know a lot of ladies who do a lot of that and do it very well. And it's been very nice over the years to actually see that evolve, because a lot of times the ladies were doing a lot of the work, and a lot of us when we were younger, we saw a lot of the older ladies doing a lot of work, but they were always behind the scenes doing things. And now I guess a lot of us have stepped out. Especially more recently, a lot more ladies are stepping out to do things.
Rachel Henley says Extension is the perfect fit to encompass a lot of her interests. She grew up with a love of agriculture, her family is all about service, and she spent a lot of time in 4-H. Henley feels right at home in the cattle fields of Powhatan, working with equine producers or lending a helping hand to young farmers.
Well, there's never a typical day, so it all depends on the day, the season, the year, and ultimately the needs of your community. And that could be anything from landowners to farmers that are in production agriculture to youth. So it really ranges. We help our extension specialists with research, and we also work with our producers to help implement some of the research on their farms for real-world application. We do a lot of teaching, so we have planned educational programs, but then there's a lot of passive education through questions that are asked to us and responding to anything and everything, and a lot of volunteer work, even though it's on the job, to just help and pitch in where we need to be.
Jennifer Ligon grew up on a family farm, and her father was a large and small animal veterinarian. She started her career with a love for agriculture, and one of Ligon's passions is helping producers stay profitable.
A lot of my time is spent out in the field with the producers, helping them with any issues that they might have. I also advise our local cattlemen's association, so I do a lot of work with them, trying to maintain their records and improve their way of production to increase their profit. But I also do a lot of programming where we bring in speakers and just do some programming on new techniques of doing things, new ideas. We try to be innovative.
Ligon says extension is a rewarding career that she would recommend to young women. It does require a certain personality, and you've got to be willing to strive to help people. Be confident and be assertive. And Greg says that time management for women can be a challenge, but that overall it's a great opportunity and career.
A young person, male or female, I would say follow your passion. What do you enjoy? Because if you truly enjoy it, you'll never work a day in your life. There's a lot of truth to that old saying. But find something you enjoy. If you like the crops, go into that. If you love the horticulture, go into that. Do the greenhouses, do the landscaping, do the lawn care. If you want like livestock, go into it. If you enjoy, livestock judging, if you enjoy feeds, nutrition, soils, forestry, any of it, if that is what you enjoy, that's what makes it important to a lot of folks.
One of the primary duties of cooperative extension agents has always been to teach and encourage producers to adopt better techniques. But the job is much more than just teaching. It has regular office hours, but also requires visiting farms, night meetings, and weekend work. Agriculture extension agents can't be afraid to get their hands dirty, but also must have at least a master's degree in the appropriate field. Being an agriculture extension agent is a good fit for many of the young Virginians who want to live and serve in their rural communities. And increasingly, those new agents are women. In Caroline County, this is Dave Miller.
We're so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty that Virginia has to offer. From the kitchen to your home and garden to our wide open spaces, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. For all of us from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.